Okay. We are live. And welcome to another episode of Nick's Knowledge and Notions NQ Science Series, brought to you by the Seven Spheres of Money and the Ransburg International. Thank you for joining us. I already know DJ is excited, so and I know he's bubbling with excitement right now. So I'm going to go ahead and let him talk about the reasons why he's excited. I'm excited too, but DJ can definitely articulate it much better as to why we're excited this week. So what's up, DJ? How you feeling?
Hey man, it's awesome, man. Hey, you know what? The founder of Wendy's, I think his last name, Dave Thomas. He said, people always say, man, you are so lucky. He said, you know what? I found it strange that the harder and the smarter I work, the luckier I get. So people are going to think that we're lucky, but see, we like that duck on top of the water. You don't see them feet, man, moving 1,000 miles per hour. So, man, we have, and we don't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't want to trip it up, but we have landed a major coup. And that's all I can tell you is that you better be chiming in next week, because we're going to bring on some special guests that everybody in the world, especially right here in the heart of America, want to talk to. I mean, they are on fire. Some major entrepreneurs doing some major significant things in the community. They have created a disruptive, game-changing business model that's going to revolutionize a dinosaur industry that makes millions and billions of dollars. And we're going to have them on as our guests next week, because Nick and I just were on the horn with them earlier today. And from us being, nimble entrepreneurs, because I got 20 years in this game. So there's a saying, a man can walk into a room with a ton of money. He can meet a man with a world of experience. He said when they both walk out the room, the man with the experience walks out with the money, and the man with the money walks out with the experience. Just don't you be that guy. So why do I say that? Because we took our nimble entrepreneur skills that I've honed over the last 2 decades, and we're able to jump over a lot of the people trying to get these amazing people on our, platform that is, new on this platform. But we're not new in the game of business, and we're definitely not new in the game of entrepreneurship, because these two people have a similar story that we have. So we're excited about that. Man, then we're also excited about our ecosystem that we're creating. And here's the thing. You may not realize this, but you're either part of a network or you're supporting a network. And we refuse to be part of a network. We're going to support a network that'll give us sustainability for generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. Because the Chinese, they plan for 150 years in advance. And the reason why we don't, because we don't know no better. And there's a saying, hey, if you know better and you don't do better, you know better. So I'm DJ the Money Coach. I'm happy as all get out to be out on Nick's Knowledge and Notions. And we're going to get to this subject. And I don't need to tell you my story anymore, because you know us now. And if you don't, hey, go check out our previous, videos, because we're about that life of living pom-pom, plenty of money, peace of mind, stress-free, and owning ourselves. So back to you, Nick, on this wonderful platform on this wonderful Friday, the day before, or 2 days before the day that's a fictitious holiday that all the women love.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So thanks DJ for that, for that introduction and giving some hints to what we're excited about. So yeah, that fictitious holiday is coming up in 2 days, but that's not going to be the topic. but we are going to deal with another occasion that comes up this month, every year in February, for the entire month, not just one day. we're talking about none other than Black History Month. And there's a lot of layers to Black History Month. We can talk about the history behind it. We can talk about how Black history is taught. We can talk about why the emphasis is only for 1 month. And of course, this is the 7 spheres of money. So we're going to talk about the financial impact of it. And there's layers to that as well. But it is Black History Month. And I thought that this topic is important to discuss because it affects us on all of those areas. It affects us socially. It affects us financially, whether you believe it or not. And we're going to get into that in a few moments. And we're going to go ahead and jump into it. DJ and I had some conversations offline about Black History Month, and we've also referenced in previous shows the importance of going beyond the window dress, as you like to call it, and going beyond the symbolism and the feel good. Oftentimes Black History Month can feel like a church service where you just go, you get your feel good, for the month, and then you return to business as usual, especially financially. So we're definitely going to get into that and talk about how we need to transcend the window dress, transcend the symbolic victories and celebrations, and talk about real, tangible results that should be coming out of Black History Month. So DJ, you and I talked about Black History Month a few weeks ago, and some things that we as a collective, need to focus on and need to be doing. So talk about that, DJ. The importance of going beyond the window dress and beyond the symbolism of Black History Month to pursuing the tangibles.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, if you don't know your history, Carter G. Woodson, who wrote The Miseducation of the Negro, actually was the one who created what was a Black History Week. And then it, organically grew into Black History Month. So first tip, book, get, Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of the Negro. That's first and foremost. Because right now, Carter G. Woodson would be rolling over in his grave of what Black history has come to represent. And what do I mean by that? I mean that when you go beneath the surface, it's all of a sudden that when you look at the commercialization of America and the consumerization of America, what is all the major corporations doing now? They're putting our culture on the retail market and selling it like it's a commodity. Everybody's got, you can look at Google, they got images for the Black history. You look at Netflix, you look at Prime, all these Black genres and stuff all of a sudden pumping up on the scene because they have no desire to support the Black history the way it's supposed to be supported, but they have every desire to drive every profit that they can squeeze out of it till they bleed us dry. And so the only way to stop that is to start having equity and ownership, and most important, stop going on these platforms and validating people who are culturally appropriating our culture. The people who like, the experience of Black, but they don't want to be Black, but they want to be Black when it's about being paid. And the irony is that in business, they say they want you to be in the Black. That's the only connotation of Black that they construed as a positive. Think about that. Everything else equated with Black outside of us in our own community is a negative. Blackballed. Think about it. Black cat. Think about these things. But in business, being in the Black means you're highly profitable. So when you're looking beneath the surface, the first thing you ought to be teaching your children about is equity and ownership, and the importance of not these typical symbolic same figureheads that they push out of here every February that you get tired of seeing. And those people 9 out of 10 times have not achieved anything of a major economic, long-lasting, wealth generational, stance. No disrespect to MLK, no even disrespect to Malcolm X, but why aren't they pushing out the ingenuity of the people who make, products, services, and businesses that actually are still here? They're going to push out the same ones. Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, MLK, Malcolm X. These are all freedom fighters, but they were not economic fighters. Now, Malcolm X was, and he would tell people about the economy, but the rest of them was about, hey, let's kumbaya and let's integrate so we can assimilate. But if you bring out the actual, George Washington Carvers, who actually created, 1,000 products and services from the peanut. You bring out the people who created, Booker T. Washington, who created Tuskegee Institute. Talk about them. Talk about the stuff that they built. Talk about the Reginald F. Lewis, the first person to create a leveraged buyout in the whole history of the United States, internationally for $1 billion. See, if you start talking about that stuff, number one, it's not commercialized profit for the majority to make money off of, but at the same time, you can go back and talk. And right now in Black History Month, guess what you should be talking about? You should be talking about my man Emmett Walsh, who actually created the first .com URL to actually extend and open up the graphic user interface to actually have us to have the ability to see ourselves on the internet versus just X's and O's. And 98% of people don't even know who Emmett T. Walsh is. If it wasn't for him, you would still be looking at X's and O's on the internet. But where's his name at? Where is the story about the gentleman who actually created the cell phone? The actual, parts inside the cell phone with AT&T that actually created the powerful cell phone itself. See, that's what Black history should be about. But if you start encouraging and showing people in the inner city, the urban city, how they could actually empower themselves by taking their creativity and actually building economy, ecosystems, and actually producing and manufacturing, you now got a problem, because now they won't get distracted by all that shucking and jiving, because we are rolling out the celebrities. And that's one of the great things I love about the pandemic. It put all them buffoons to sleep because they can't get a check because they got to be in person shucking and jiving. But now you can actually magnify and put the spotlight on the programmers, the coders, the people who speak well, the orators, the leaders, the foundational builders, the agriculture, the artificial intelligence creators in our community. That's what Black history should really be about. So that kid that's sitting behind playing that video game, but what about that kid who actually is creating the technology inside that video game? The virtual reality. A lot of stuff is created by people that look just like us. And that's 24/7, 365. But guess what? I can't sell that in Walmart. I can't sell that in Target. I can't sell that on Amazon. You know why? Because that ain't sexy. But I can show, hey, man, put on the red, black, and green. Put on the MLK shirt, the image of Malcolm X. Harriet Tubman, put her on the $20 bill. And we can feel good because all we're reinforcing is what? A negative secondary inferiority station in our economy. And we actually have a caste system in America and people don't even realize it. But if you go out there and start talking about Emmett T. Walsh, the creator that actually created the .com, and them kids start doing it and stop playing the video games and start getting sexy about being a nerd and empowering themselves, how do you cash in on that? Here's what you're going to find out in the community is that the athlete and the entertainer is going to be taking a back seat to the programmer, the AI person, the analytical person, the sabermetric person. They're going to be the millennial rock stars of this new generation. And hopefully our kids won't get left behind in the process because they're too busy being rolled out in Black History Month, those same old iconic, by default images, which again, they fought their butts off us to get the freedoms that we have. But when Malcolm X talked to ML King and told him, hey man, we got to be about the economics. And just like they have this movie out there that everybody's applauding about, One Night in Miami, which is a total blasphemy of what Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and Jim Brown were in that room talking about. They were talking about economy, owning yourself, and being an independent man in America by economics. That's Black History Month. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson talks about. Building an ecosystem, create enough money, take that money, go to Capitol Hill, pay the lobbyists, and make them create legislation and buy the politicians. And now every day will be a Black History Day because guess what? American history is Black history because there is no American history without Black history first. Because 80% of everything that was created or generated in ingenuity was created by the hands of a Black man and a Black woman. And if you doubt and want to challenge that, let's go back and look at it. Traffic light, who was that created by? Garrett. Washing machine, who was that created by? Black man. The ability to track people's genes in the DNA was derived illegally and immorally by a body of a Black woman. That these biometric companies use even to today to fight off disease, vaccinations, and everything from that one lady that they took millions of samples of her DNA. That's Black history. But we're not going to talk about that because if you start sharing who created, blood transfusions, Dr. Charles Drew University in Los Angeles. How do I know? Not only did I read about it over 12 years ago, but I also was a sponsor one year in 2008 of the Charles Drew Summer Jazz Fest to actually give scholarships to Black engineers, medical students. That's Black history. But again, that's not sexy. You can't commercialize that. And if you did, it's not going to make a lot of money because guess what? The people with the inferiority complex, and I love everybody, but the ones with the inferiority complex, they're not going to want to see that paraded across the screen at the Super Bowl. If you notice, if you saw the Super Bowl, anything that was ingenuity based, there was a little white face attached to it. They even had a silly commercial about a burrito, and a kid took a burrito and turned it into this agricultural phenomenon tool and adaptation of an app and technology that changed the world. But you know what that kid is seeing? Wow, I can conquer anything. And you know what? Every child should have that feeling. Wow, I can conquer anything. That's Black history. That's economics, and that's equity and ownership. And then what you want to have is start pouring that money, just like they pour in Silicon Valley. You want to give these children computers, smartphones, show them how to code just like they learn how to play video games. And now that will level the playing field where now we don't have to go across the pond to get programmers, AI. We can have that right in our backyard. That's Black history. And that's not 28 days out of a 31-day month. That's 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And that just, segues into what we're excited about next week. We're going to bring some people that come on that look just like you, that's creating a disruptive technology. Again, it's going to level the playing field. And we hope that at the same time that's going to level the playing field, that there's going to be more people behind the scenes writing, implementing, navigating, engineering, architecturing. That ain't even a word. The architects and the design behind the technology to actually level the playing field for our people. That's what Black history is about. That's what the economics. And if you look at it and you put that money down here at the entry level, it'll actually play out for everybody. Because I believe at the end of the day, man, we all should be competitive, and you deserve what you earn. So that's the exciting part, man. And this costs pennies on the dollar, man. Pennies on the dollar. The same thing. They got the new technology with the Oculus and all that, and these kids are wearing that stuff. But how about the excitement of building it? How about going into these aviation, programs at an early age and getting yourself an aviation's license before you can get a driver's license? And how about learning how to fix the plane? That ain't sexy, but that is sexy because now you got a skill set that's in high demand that very few people can do, so you can always make great money. That's Black history in a nutshell. Back to you.
Yep. Yeah. You mentioned several key points, that brought up some thoughts in my head. Well, first of all, I didn't even know the name of Emmett T. Walsh. Now I heard about the .com, but the name Emmett T. Walsh didn't ring a bell. And you brought up the inferiority complex a few times, and what's really interesting, what's almost scary. Not only would Carter G. Woodson be rolling over in his grave, but if you read The Miseducation of the Negro, you would think you're reading something in 2021. Like what Carter G was talking about back in 1933, much of that is still going on now in 2021, especially when it comes to economics. I'll paraphrase this passage, but he said, your own people, the person that looks like you, they'll go and get the white man's ice because they believe the white man's ice is going to be colder than the black man's ice. And that's that inferiority complex and that pooling of resources that you mentioned there. The inventions of Black people. I actually just got a book. I'm not in front of my library tonight. I will show you the cover, but I got a book at the end of 2020 called Black People Invented Everything by Dr. Sujan Das. And it breaks down all of these inventions, whether they were inventions, whether they were services, whether they were systems. The history is out there. And not only is Black history American history, but it's also world history too.
Absolutely.
So Black history serves as the foundation for civilization and systems that Western civilization adopted over the centuries. So if you really want to get deep, you really want to get down to the roots and get down to the source and the origin and see how all these developments and inventions build upon each other over time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely. And see, as Americans, man, we should just applaud American ingenuity and American accomplishments, and we should all look through the eyes as us as Americans. At the end of the day, I mean, we are the most creative people on the planet, as Americans as a whole. But we always have to have some type of division because you're looking, again, like I said, we live in a caste system now. And a lot of people don't realize. And that caste system is, it's a caste system, but then it's a class system where it's actually not even a color system anymore because of the technology. Here's a great thing about technology from an economic standpoint in February. Guess what? The internet, when it comes to certain businesses, has no idea what you and I look like. All it knows is X's and O's, baby. Ones and zeros. And that's what I'm excited about. Because I can go on a screen, tap into trading, build myself an app, get myself artificial intelligence, and have it go out and execute. And all it cares about is transactions, and transactions equal business. And systems equal scalability. And marketing sets it on fire to make it more profitable than you could ever imagine. Because at the end of the day, you make money and you want to make a lot of money, create a solution to lots of problems that the common person have and give them a duplicatable system that they can easily look to, that they need, and make it a need that they got to have. And you'll never be broke. And guess what? That all can be created in the palm of your hand with a smartphone, and they do not care what you look like. And that's what the concern is for the good old, white boy system, is that that's being broken down. And guess what? They're not producing. Their progeny is not producing anymore. There's 25, I think they said 25 to 28 states in the United States where the population is actually decreasing in white America. That's scaring the heck out of them. So you have to put some type of indoctrination into your, adversary, your enemy. But we're not your adversary and we're not your enemy. We just want equity and ownership, baby. And thank goodness to technology, it's coming to the forefront. So I'm excited. So even though this is Black History Month, we got to use this as the diving board to catapult us like a seesaw into the future, where you understand that every day is Black history and every day Black history is American history. And that's the way we're going to stay ahead of everything else, because we love everybody. We get along with everybody. We welcome everybody in. Hey, man, share my music, share my clothes, share my art, share my hospitality, and then look up and it's being taken, and then they want to repackage it, rename it, and claim that they created it. So that right there is going to stop, because the generation behind us, they don't look at it that way. They look at, hey, man, how quick can I program? How quick can I get my app? I can get on these platforms and build my own personal brand and get myself a following. And then when that following is brought and you curate all that content that can be used for a lifetime, with the emphasis, and the most important thing, Nick, to the economics is, it doesn't matter if you don't record it. Because if you don't record it, today's kid is like, it didn't happen, baby. If you ain't got a video of it, a TikTok or whatever that you can show me, I don't believe you. So you're building all this content and you're able to curate it and catalog it and license it out for in perpetuity, baby. And as long as you find your people that jive with you, you're going to always make money. That's the beautiful thing about it. You're going to always make money. You realistically only have to get 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers on a platform that are loyal to you. Spend $100 a month with you, and you're a multimillionaire. And all you got to do to keep that stickiness with them is to treat them with the platinum rule. And once they get into your ecosystem, provide everything for them. If they need bottled water, provide it for them. If they need a mug, provide it for them. If they need a phone, provide it for them. If they need a cap, provide it for them. Because you can outsource these commodities on pennies on the dollar. You can get it at Alibaba, you can get it at Amazon, you can get anywhere. But what they can't get is the uniqueness of you and me. That's what they come and they stay for. And then they want to be part of your tribe or part of your group. And they want to look like you, talk like you, feel like you. So as long as you have that, you'll make money for a lifetime. As long as this planet is here, you'll make money. And your job is not to let somebody come off the sidelines and create something that's new and sexy and start driving your people, or basically ciphering them off of your network. So you should also constantly be re-engineering and re-innovating and recreating yourself as you go along. And that's how people become dinosaurs. So I'm excited because this is Black History. But again, Black History is 24/7, 365. And this is just, we should use this as, this is the spotlight of the best of the best. That's what Black History should be, is that, you know what, just like any sport, we got MVPs, Defensive Players of the Year. And at one point in the season, after the season is ran out, do they highlight those people? So we should start calling this February Awesome Month to highlight the best of the Black people in the year previously for every day, 28 days. The best people in every category: technology, money, education, science, math, engineering, manufacturing, clothing, entertainment, and highlight each one of the best and give them an award, and give the award to the ones that actually had created something that actually can be reproduced and replicated over and over again. So I'm going to put a petition together, and we're going to start saying we're going to make this February Awesome Month to highlight the best of the best. And that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be a celebration and a parade of the best we have right now. And then we'll look back to our elders and say, I remember when my elder won that award and it was highlighted in February. That's what I can get excited about.
Yeah, I can get excited about that too. And not only are we able to circumvent entrepreneurship by getting on these platforms and creating products and apps without people knowing or caring about what we look like, we can also do that in the markets too. We recently, at the end of 2020, we created a Forex fund. We're building it to $1 million, and no one knows what we look like. We're building it. We're going to hit that $1 million, and no one knows what we look like. We're doing that, and we're also building this business where we're going to get to the point where we have that 1,000, 10,000 loyal followers, and we're getting that $100 from each of them while giving them what they need, applying the platinum rule. So we're making it happen right now. So so February Awesome Month will also be a celebration of those who are making history in real time. We tend to focus on history that was made 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago, but history is being made, right as we speak. Not only with us, but with a lot of folks who look like us. They're making they're history makers in the making.
Exactly. So, man, that's a great point. You're right. We should be looking about that right now in the present for tomorrow. Forget about what's in the rearview mirror, like you said, but focus on what's going on right now, today, and how we land them bricks in the ground right now to build that awesome foundation. And another thing is, we should start opening arms to anybody that's successful and stop trying to nickel and dime everybody, man. And see, you don't have to do that when you're not dependent on somebody else that don't look like you, because you're constantly worried about what they thinking about you. Guess what? They ain't thinking about you. I hate to tell you about it. They ain't thinking about you. And guess what? I ain't thinking about them. At the end of the day. So if I can do that, and like you said, in February Awesome, we can now lay that foundation, and you can bring these people in and start teaching them. Like right now, your children ought to be knowing about big data. They ought to know about artificial intelligence. They ought to know about every aspect of coding because those are the only jobs are going to be in this 21st century right now today that's going to be transferable. All the other jobs are getting eliminated by technology, efficiencies. That's what it's about. All this stuff can be outsourced. Virtual assistants, they've been using those for years. You know, the menial work, the non-creativity work, the non-exciting work that you build a business upon, that's the stuff that we should be working hard on, because business is boring. You know, the day in and day out of business is boring. The exciting part about it is that you took an idea in your head, put it in paper, and then brought it to fruition, man. It's like having a child. It's amazing. But then after that gets there, that, you know, rigmarole, sending the emails, sending the texts, you know, sending the thank yous and stuff like that, man, that stuff is boring. Nobody wants to do that. And guess what? All those are outsourced. All those are done by artificial intelligence, apps, robots. But you can't replace the creativity of man. That engine. But if you don't know how to code, you don't know, you know, analytics, and you don't know how to command, speak well, and articulate your thoughts, you're going to have a problem in this 21st century. But at the same time, you're creating history right now. And like my man Robert Kiyosaki said, hey man, winners only mind their business. They don't mind other people's business. I concern myself with our business. So our, you know, whatever number of subscribers that we have, guess what? I'm grateful for them because they are true and tried. And Gideon in the Bible, he only needed 300 to take down the enemy of 30, 40,000 people. He had 300 good men and women, and he took down the whole brood of his enemies. There was over 40,000 people. And they multiplied, baby. They got the work done. And, you know, Jesus had 12 that turned out to, you know, conform billions of people. So don't look at where you are. Look at where you're going and build that golden pathway to success, and make sure it is duplicatable, where somebody can pick up the baton where you finish and they can keep moving forward. That's Black history, man. I'm so excited about Black history because, I mean, there's a lot of things we could talk about and superstars in Black history. You could talk about Bessie Smith, who, you know, was an aviator. A lot of people don't know about, you know, it's so many amazing things. You could talk about the first open heart surgery done by Dr. Haley. Do you know right now that we have less Black physicians than we ever had since 60 years? Tell me when the last time you've seen a Black physician on a regular basis, a Black dentist on a regular basis. Where are they? Because we're not promoting them in our school. And it's more easier to become a Black physician and a Black dentist than it is to become a rapper, a basketball player, a baseball player, or a football player, and a soccer player. And that's got longevity to success if you are consumer debt free. And where are our bankers, our investment bankers, our money managers? Where are they at? Dude, they're like unicorns. And we shouldn't be excited about being the unicorn. Ain't nothing special about being a unicorn. There is that you have those skill sets, but at the same time, if you're the only one got it, then you're going to continue to have to fish for your people. Because all those people are entertainers are only here to actually entertain and make the elite feel good. And some of them break through the entertainment veil and actually become, you know, business people, but that's very rare too.
Right. Yep.
You know, what we should do, like it's been said, and this is not my original thought, we should start parading the kids up on stage that are getting the academic scholarships the same way they do these silly, you know, ESPN days talking about where the kids going to school. And the thing I love is the spelling bee. And I know people are saying, man, what's that got to do with Black history? Well, just think about it. Who created, literature? Who created scripture? Who created the pen and the paper? So if we start promoting these as the sexy and the most popular, which it's awesome to be highly educated and very cerebral now, because you know what? Most likely that person going to be telling you what to do in the next 5 to 10 years, because they're going to create all the newest technology. So you should be applauding that kid in kindergarten, 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, 9th grade, and doing the same thing 10 times more than you do that kid with sports. One thing the pandemic shown us, that we don't even need sports. Because how many stadiums were empty in the last 12 months? But how many new apps jumped on the scene? How many new entrepreneurs jumped on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok? A bunch. And they becoming rock stars doing what they like to do, and they getting paid more than a lot of these people that have these in the sport arena alone, professional basketball only has 500 players. Football, you got a couple of thousand. Baseball, you got a couple of thousand. That's out the whole world. But what do you have on these digital social media platforms? Hundreds of thousands. Out there competing, baby. It's exciting. So that's what Black history should be about. When that kid gets to high school, we should line up everybody, throw a parade for him or her, talk about what they're doing, and make them feel great so they get excited about getting in front of that laptop, learn how to code, create the code to the video game, create the code to the Cash App, create the code to the TikTok, so that they can create their own, and then people have and say, wow, man, this is your world. You are Willy Wonka. You are the King of Oz. And everybody can be the King of Oz. That's what Black history is really about. And then they should be able to have their books, their online courses about anything. As long as it's legal, ethically, and morally sound and has dignity to it, man, we should applaud it. And we should yell from the rooftops. All right. Monica, Shaniqua, they just created the yada, 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 system. Give them applause. Give them this. And they come in and give them a big certificate. They give a big check and they feel great about themselves. That's all it's about, man. And you can have fun doing that. Creating tiddlywinks. If you create it and make it exciting, guess what you're going to find out? People are going to want to come part of it. There's another saying, say, hey, man, set yourself on fire and everybody will come to check you out. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's Black history in a nutshell, and that's American history. And at the end of the day, we can be interwoven together and actually all work together peacefully because we have not worried about something that we're protecting. We all, protectionism, conservatism. That means you're trying to conserve. You're not trying to reproduce. But if I know you're just as gifted as I am and the playing field is truly equal without any bias or any projected, insecurities to me because God gave me a gift that you don't have, but you realize that God gave everybody a gift to be awesome. Everybody. And God's given some people more than 2-3 gifts to be awesome. But we don't, praise work ethic, discipline, planning, execution. We praise play and silliness, and there's a time and place for that. But when it comes down to February awesome, we should parade the best of the past 12 months for every 28 days, and in a leap year, every 29 days in February. So,
that's right, and I think that sums it up perfectly. As to how we should reimagine and re-envision Black History Month. So, as we're as we're coming to a close, we got a lot of things going on this month. A lot of things coming up. So we already alluded to that that interview that we got coming up. But it's also tax season. We just got finished with a phenomenal webinar on Wednesday night. And if you missed that one, don't worry, because we have more. We have more coming up. We have another one coming up next week, next Wednesday. Is that right? Yeah, next Wednesday on the 17th. Yeah, another refund to retirement webinar coming up. At this very moment, I'm getting that prepped up and prepared for you all. Registration is open. It's available. So you want to get up and get on that, and DJ's going to tell you why you need to be on that to retirement webinar.
Oh, absolutely. So this webinar is going to be strictly about businesses, real estate, dividend stocks, startups, tax laws, what entity structures are the best ones for you to take the best advantages of. It's going to debunk and demystify that LLCs are not always the best entities to get the best tax write-offs and actually to pay the least amount of taxes. So we're going to have our corporate CPAs, James Lane Jr. from Emerge Financial, come in and break down to show you how you can almost pay zero taxes through a corporation versus the structure of an LLC. That's right. That's what I said. You can almost pay zero taxes through a corporation versus an LLC if you know how to do the structure properly. We're going to show you how to take your real estate investments, put them in trust, and actually get better tax write-offs. We're going to show you how dividend stocks are the long play of strong passive income, how annuities work, and then we're going to show you the thing that we're most excited about. We're going to show you how that Forex is rocking and how we're able to create 30-40% profit month in and month out on every dollar we invest strategically in the market. And we're going to break down and have that shown to you by our main man, Leonard Ray, who's been trading Forex for over 15 years successfully. Because what you have seen over the past 3 weeks with the manipulation of the stock market, specifically to stocks AMC, GameStop, Bath and Beyond, you saw a group. Again, people came together, figured out that the hedge funders were actually shorting these bad performing stocks and making millions and billions of dollars. And they said, you know what? We're going to stop that madness. And we're going to put this group together collectively in our own ecosystem. And we're going to start buying those stocks and create this valuation and make them go through the roof and watch these hedge fund people lose billions and billions of dollars. We're going to explain to you step by step how that manipulation works, how you can actually prevent yourself from being caught in a situation like that, but how you can do the advantage point of actually making it work for you in certain types of trades, swing trades, day trades, Forex trades. We're going to teach you all that from A to Z. We're going to teach you actually how to start your entrepreneur life the right way by putting the 7 spheres of money in place with the proper professionals on your team. So we call it 3 steps to success: building business, taking the business, incorporate it properly by maximizing the tax laws through Cafe Rule 125, then taking those profits and putting them into real estate, maxing the tremendous write-offs in real estate through your Schedule C and your K1s, and then taking those and put them into trust in multiple corporations, be it general partnerships, limited partnerships, and showing you how to thin them out into passive income through annuities, dividends, and Forex, and make yourself financially independent and have a pom-pom lifestyle with plenty of money and peace of mind, because we've been doing it for 20 years, and we're going to be excited to see you in that webinar. It's the Refund to Retirement webinar on February the 17th. And I'm going to show you, just like I showed people last Wednesday, how I take my refund every year and I put it into these strategic vehicles, real estate, stocks, and business, and I get over a 40, 50, 200% return year in and year out. How would you like to do that with your refund? No matter if it's $1, 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000, you could double your money in 12 months if you knew the proper vehicles with the proper team. But the only way you're going to know how to do that is to register for the Refund to Retirement webinar. It's our most popular webinar ever, year in and year out, because people are excited about the stimulus, small business owners excited about the PPP, the EIDL, and even the disaster loan programs and the stimulus coming out. So instead of you being a consumer, be a producer and think 5 generations ahead. And whose ecosystem am I in? I'm in yours, or I'm supporting my own? Because here's the message. If you're 1% against your ecosystem, you are 100%. Because what does a parasite job do? And their motivation is when they get to the host, it's to metastasize the whole host. That means eat it all up. Let me get in 1% and start nibbling it all away to it's no longer the host and it's a full fat parasite. We're going to show you how to be the parasite and be in your own ecosystem and create consumer debt freedom, financial independence, increase your credit scores by 100 points in 45 days or less, and turn those assets into multi-generational wealth. But you can only do it in the Refund to Retirement webinar. And then after that, we're going to bring this amazing entrepreneur on the platform and show you how you can participate in that game-changing technology as well that's going to disrupt a major dinosaur industry, man. I'm extremely excited. And then on top of that, we got some other amazing interviews coming up. We got Dr. Hollowell coming back out to talk about health and CBDs. We got Ron coming on and talk about distribution of the CBD system. Then we have Pepper Miller coming on and telling you about how the impact of Black consumerism and advertising go hand in hand, and how you can flip the script and make the most out of it and not become the actual retail, giver, and you can be the producer of your own enterprise and your brand. So get with us, man. Get excited, because if you ain't, your wood is wet. And in 2021, it's about multiplying your assets and your wealth of knowledge and putting it into play. And we're going to maximize the big, hairy, audacious goal we have for 2021. That's right. We're going to have already $1 million in Forex fund by the end of March. And we're going to multiply that to $5 million. And I'll give you 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. How I know we can't? Because I've done it before. I managed $40-50 million worth of assets under management that I took a mere $40,000-50,000 and grew it into that. So if I can do that, I can do this too. But the question is, can you come roll with us, or are you going to roll with somebody else that don't look like you, don't care like you, don't even want but what you can provide culturally for them so they can repackage it and sell it back to you? So that's what we're excited about. Jump on these links, register for this webinar, and get yourself excited. Have some goals. Put them 2 dirty little words together, work and discipline, and let's go jump into this pom-pom lifestyle and travel around the world on the beaches of the World Club. I'm excited, Nick.
That's right, and I'm excited too. A lot of good things coming up, so yeah. Mention joining that Beaches of the World Club and living that pom-pom lifestyle. And that's also the way that we close out too. So we wish you that pom-pom lifestyle, because you deserve that pom-pom lifestyle. You can have that pom-pom lifestyle, and you can certainly achieve that pom-pom lifestyle. And come join us on the Beaches of the World Club.
Absolutely. Hey, man. Hey, and hit that like button.
Yeah.
Share this. And most importantly, subscribe to these principles of success that we're talking about and apply them today. Don't worry about how you start. Be concerned about how you finish. Because if you've never done something before, it's going to be sloppy, uncomfortable, awkward. Because you need to figure out how it actually works to your talents and your skill and your comfort level when you've mastered it by doing it over and over, by putting more reps in. And more reps, you're going to get better and better and better. Your job is to be better than you were today, tomorrow. That's it. And And that's all you need to know, guys. And then, like Nick said, you come enjoy that pom-pom lifestyle. Plenty of money, peace of mind. You come join us on the beaches of the World Club. And your beach is whatever you think the beach should be for you. I'm DJ the Money Coach. I'll see you in the webinar. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, and I'm Nick Westbrook. And I'll see you there too.